Good afternoon, everybody. Today we are in the van. I have a very exciting project I'm about ready to put together. My orders from Amazon came in for my stove and my stove connectors, and we're going to put that together today. Okay, so what I have here today is the Everest Camp Chef stove. I am so excited. Done a lot of research. This is the stove to have if you love to cook. Over here I have what will be the fitting for it, and it is a 30-inch hose with a regulator, and I've got some non-slips to put my stove on so that way it doesn't slip around when I'm in transit, and a 1-pound propane bottle. So here it is, the Camp Chef Everest stove out of its package. Also took out our 30-inch hose and regulator out of its package. Got that right there as well. Let's open it up and take a look. Whoa. Looks like we got some information. Looks like we got some protective sheeting here. Let's pull that out of there. Make great kindling for a campfire. Look at that, nice and shiny. Woo. This is a 20,000 per burner BTU stove. Now it should come with, looks like it does right here. Here is the piece that comes with it to hook up your propane tank. Okay, and so what I'm going to do here next is I picked up this, it's kind of like drawer linings and counter linings. It's kind of textured. It kind of helps things from slipping around. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of lay this out on the back of it and flip my stove over. I'm going to measure it out because it's going to sit right over here on my counter here in my van. And so when I'm traveling, I would like it not to be slipping around. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut, and we'll see you in a second. I've taken that non-slip and I've cut it to kind of size down underneath there. So now it has a hard time moving around. And what I also found that was kind of neat too is on the underside of this stove, put in a neat little handle. So in case you're carrying this around, it just has a nice little handle there to carry. Okay, so here it is all set up. Here's the Camp Chef stove. It's got these little flappy guys on the side here, and they connect to this lid to help hold the lid up. It's got little notches in there that notch into the lid. So kind of helps hold that up. Probably gives kind of a heat shield toward the back as well. So also what I've done, I've already hooked up the propane tank. With that hose, it's pretty easy, you can't mess it up. One end goes into the side and the other end goes over to the tank. And so here we go. First fire up. Just like that, one fire, ready to go. I am so excited to start cooking on this. I will throw out more reviews as I use it. I've heard nothing but amazing things about this stove. I love to cook. One of the things that really appealed to me about this stove was that the 20,000 BTU allows you to be able to turn it down very low, so that way you can do things like simmer and saute and all the things that I love to do when I'm cooking. Okay, so when I filmed that, I had bought that stove the beginning of last summer, and we are now starting the spring of 2020. And I gotta say, this has been a phenomenal stove. We have run probably 5 or 6 1-pound things of propane through it, and it holds up well. Cupboard lining that I put underneath the stove made it so my stove never slipped around in transit. It's just been wonderful. Another thing I forgot to mention is that I do have a roof vent in my van, and this is it right here, and it's the Fan-Tastic fan. And so usually if I'm using my stove, I'll crack it or turn the fan on if I'm really cooking. If you're living any kind of van life or in your van for any amount of time, a roof vent is just so necessary. I highly recommend them, and this Fan-Tastic fan does a wonderful job. If this looks like a good setup for you, I will leave the links down below for the Stansport hose for the stove and the stove itself. And if Amazon has 1-pound propane deals, I'll throw that on there too. I can't say anything bad about this stove. The only thing that I would recommend is if you're going to use the 1-pound cylinders, is to take your stove and bring it outside. Bring the hose outside as you change that, because it poofs off some propane and you probably don't want that in your van. Other than that, guys, thank you for following along and watching this video. I really appreciate it. Hope everyone's staying safe and keeping warm and fed, and looking forward to summer. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment if you have any questions or if you've had any problems with the stove, and I'll be happy to try to help out as much as I can. Have an awesome day, guys.